All right, we are in the kitchen. I have fat going on that I need to take the liquid apart from the solids, and so that's what we are doing together. We are doing it live because I don't have time to do a educational gardening live stream at the moment. This week has been the first week back to homeschool, and home cooked meals are happening and preserving kind of projects are happening. So you're in my kitchen, you're with me. Hey, Robin Gardens. She says, hello from Chicagoland. I'm back home and a bit knackered. We're getting a few nights in the 40s, so I have to plan my covering game out tomorrow. Jay Dixon is here. Hopefully the live is working and you can hear me. Let me know in the chat, because this is not my normal setup. It's going to sound weird, I'm sure, and look weird. There's no secrets on the fridge, so you won't be seeing anything you're not supposed to see. Jay Dixon says, good evening to all from Huron County, Midwestern Ontario, Canada, in the lee of Lake Huron. Robin says, all good. Okay, so in my electric roaster pan, I had put cow fat in it because I have a freezer full of cow fat I'm trying to get through before another cow comes home. And if I have a home day, then I can do that. And so when I put it in there, it's frozen, and I keep the temp to 250 Fahrenheit all day. So this started at probably 9 in the morning, and it's 9 o'clock at night right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove the solids, and there might still be fat in them to render down, which we can continue to do, but I want to get what's in here out. And so this is hot. And we have Storms, Radios, and Cats. Good evening, Shawnee. Hey, friends. Jay's like, Fat Live. It's easier for me to move this big pot if I take the solids out and then try to dump the liquid fat out. Because right now the fat is liquid. I can show you how I'm going to get it in a jar and what it's going to look like after it's cooled. I have some that are done. So we're being careful. We are on our journey to 4,000 watch hours. So try and catch up on any previous live streams that you've missed. I don't even know what we did. What did we talk about a week ago? I haven't been here online on my own channel, so I don't even know. In the future, I wanted to talk about planting a medicinal garden, a medical plant garden. But the way this week is gone, I don't have time for that. Like I said, it's the first week back to school. We homeschool. I have a second grader, a first grader, and a preschooler. We also are under construction. So I had all the smoke alarms going off from cement dust today, and I still need to wipe things down and mop my floors if I care to do that. Jay says, innocent look, Shawnee is rendering until the new cow come home. Yes. And we're trying to not get fat all over this nice laptop that doesn't belong to me. When I'm going to cook something up in my cast iron, I put a little tallow in it. If I'm going to cook some fries in the oven and bake them, I put some tallow in it. I have yet to make soap with tallow, or like a salve or balm or cream or anything. But yes, we're in a race with Radio Jonesy, and he's catching up really fast, so I needed to do something. And you guys might be just doing projects with me for the next couple live streams, because I have no time or energy. Like yesterday, I was in bed right now with my feet up because my feet were killing me. I'm trying not to ting the pan too much, but that might be impossible. You might have seen on my posts the pictures of things I've been creating in the kitchen. That takes time and energy, cooking. If you know. We were supposed to get rain today, but I don't think we really did. So I might have to water the garden tomorrow, which means field trip, because I garden away from home. Okay, Brook Trout 1. We homeschooled 5 kids, still doing 2 since 96. Yes. It was a lot easier for them to transition into doing the homeschool routine than it was me. I think it was harder on me to do. What I do is I give them their free time in the morning because they wake up before me. And then I'll set out, while I'm doing my morning chores, I set out morning work for them to do, which is a sheet at the table. And whenever they find it, they get to it. I don't have to say anything. They just figure it out. Once they're wrapping that up, then I sound the bell and we do our circle time, which is the Pledge of Allegiance, talking about the calendar, the weather. We do a logic sheet. We read a story, play a game, do flashcard games, like some people are still trying to learn their sounds. Some people are just working on math, facts, addition. And then after that, we go, that's like a 15-minute thing. We go into a movement thing. Like we like Danny Go. They'll do a movement video, and then we move into independent lessons. So each child gets their school box. And that's where they do language arts, math, handwriting. The core subjects for things that I call loop. I don't remember which word I used, but that would be like art, music, science, history. Those are things that we could do a different one every day, or we could work on one for a couple months and then switch. But those we do as a family. Those are like a group learning thing. And I know that's not gardening related, but that's my life this week, okay? Let's see here. Robin says to Barry, drove home from Door County, Wisconsin, and I'm not going to make it too late. Jay says, 6 days ago, Shawneegrows, what to do with underripe apples, tomatoes, and more. Okay, yes, I remember doing that. I think we had a Friday show where we had people on panel talking about things. That was great. Okay, so now that I've separated the solids, mostly, I'm going to strain what's in here through a strainer into another container. So it's messy. I have this and a Pyrex. What is this? 2 quarts, 8 cups. And I have these gloves, which I need new ones of, but they're the ones I like. Tammy Harder, hello, welcome to this fat party. Yeah, Jay Dixon says 9 days ago at Shawneegrows we did. Why did I buy these 3 books? And I've been looking at those books every day since, yes. And the posts have the pictures. So you can see it's liquidy. And I've got my vessel set up. Okay. I'm going to put the fat back in the roaster pan, put it back in the roaster, and it's still set to 250 degrees. Because if we get more out of this, I will use it. You know what I mean? Can I touch this yet? Here's what we strained out, little tidbits. Okay. Oh, geez. It's going. I can't touch this. Can I? My hands are clean, but it's not my usual. I see something happening. South Florida Sunshine Tropicals. Look at all that liquid fat gold. And then Adam, I'm risking getting in trouble. My mama and wife are the only things that terrify me. I saw the title and had to say hi. I'm definitely watching the replay tomorrow. Bye. Thanks, Adam. If I catch it before it moves, then I don't have to touch I don't want to touch the laptop while it's in this form. Okay, so now I've got pint mason jars that I've cleaned. They were warm. They've cooled off now. And normally when I'm doing this, not super professional, I would strain it at this point, but I've already strained it once with the same size, so I'm not gonna strain it again. But the tricky part is taking it from here and getting it to here. So you know sometimes when you pour something, so I'm gonna go to that level for headspace, just for my own personal liking. And then we just keep repeating. This is cow fat that we had at 250 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 hours. And we strained the solids from the liquid. And we're going to pour the liquid into these jars for safekeeping. I like to put them in the fridge once they've cooled. See, now this has a little bit of stuff in it. You see the stuff? I kind of don't. I'm sure it's fine, but I don't want it in here. What was I saying? So, oh, thanks, Carol. She says, you did great with that pour. Lardiest Wednesday. That was funny, Jay. I like to put them in the fridge, and then they get solid. So this is what happens. They'll do this at room temperature. They'll turn white till tomorrow or morning. And then I put it in the fridge because then the temperatures of the kitchen don't make the fat go bad and spoil. So this is what it's like when it's solid. Oh, it almost went on the computer and it didn't. Oh my goodness. And so if I get too many of these where my fridge is getting too full, I do put them in the freezer. And then just pull them out as needed. I've had them like sit on my stove, but I don't like to do that anymore because we had some go bad and that stunk and possibly was contaminated from a pet. So putting this back. So I don't put a brand new lid on these. I put a used lid. Let me see. So it's one that's already been canned in something like it says baking soda because I must have used it for baking soda jars. But this is a regular mouth. So I would put the lid in the ring and I would put it on the jar. But I want these to be cooled off a little bit more before I do that. Like I can touch them right now, but they're still kind of warm. So they're on the cutting board. And another trick is the peanut butter lids fit these jars. See? So I also use these peanut butter lids anytime I have one. And then these would go in the fridge. And I'm going to let that go. I don't know how much longer. I don't know. I don't like leaving stuff on overnight. So what I want to do is get out of the kitchen. And so I'm going to do that now that this job is done. Thank you for the long dramatic pause, Robin. Appreciate that. There was no cool stuff queued up. Sorry, everyone. It's not a long drive to the living room. But, you know, I thought about changing my shirt because I don't like wearing red on camera. But you know what? Here we go. Okay, let's see here. Robin, can you put your hand on the keyboard? Normally when I do anything kind of demo wise in this range of this equipment, I do put a big towel on it, and I did not. Barry says Shawnee's making Crisco. Carol says, I will let you enjoy your fantasy storms. Yes, I had to stalk you because you were headed to Shawnee's place. Jay says there would have been a lot more slap and splash when I did that pour. I was worried that it was going to follow the pitcher and like leak down the elbow into the board, which I'll just, you know, grease the board. Okay, Brook Trout 1. If the lid has a dent from opening, do you reuse them? We don't. I don't ever get a dent from opening things. I don't use a tool to open, like when they're sealed. I know that some people have a tool, like a lid. I don't know what that's called. Popper, lid popper. So if it was dented from that or dropping or something, then no, I don't. I just throw it away. But if it's just, this is just, it doesn't need to seal. It's going in the fridge and freezer. That's why I said you can use an old lid, because this isn't a water bath or pressure can situation. Jay Dixon says Shawnee is on a campaign to increase her subscribers and watch hours. Anyhow, would be appreciated. Yes. So there's some playlists. There's some live streams you might have missed. I'm sure there's a gardener out there that you could share my channel with. Carol says, I left the kitchen, cleaned all the dishes, but put them back in the sink so my husband can load the dishes because he rearranges everything once it's in there. Tammy Harder says, I made some about a year ago and came in late, but I believe I did mine the same way, but unfortunately it didn't keep as long as I had hoped. I put it in a mason jar as well. How'd you store it? So I store my fat trimmings in the freezer. I take them from the freezer to the roaster pan at 275 degrees for 12 hours, usually is how long, because that's when I have time to get to it again. And then I strain it like you saw, and then I keep it in the fridge. And after 4 months, if I'm finding like I have too much, that's just my personal number. I don't have any data behind this number. But if I have enough for 4 months, anything past that, I'll put in the freezer. So right now I have, I think, 3 pints in the fridge, and I just made 3 pints. So I'm thinking that once these jars are cooled and I put the lid on them, I'll put them in the fridge overnight. And then tomorrow I'll move them to the freezer, because I think 3 pints is good enough to have sitting in my fridge taking up space. And I will go through 6 pints. I don't know how fast. It depends. Like in the winter, there's a lot more different style of cooking going on. We might be cooking up all those lovely potatoes that are coming in. Maybe I'll actually get to some kind of soap making with it, you know. Jay Dixon says to Brook Trout 1, I am cheap, frugal, and reuse canning lids for non-canning purposes. I only use new lids for an excellent seal for canning. Yeah, if like I was putting flour and sugar in mason jars and cornstarch and baking soda and stuff, so I would just use an old lid that's already been used, definitely. Tammy Harder, I have more tallow in my big freezer. Carol says, right, you aren't needing it shelf stable outside of the fridge. Yeah, that's why I use old lids, whatever I have. Robin Gardens says to Carol, my hubby rearranges the dishwasher too. I hates that I cram in tons of stuff. I don't have a dishwasher and I do not want one. Lid crowbar, there we go. Jay Dixon. Yeah, I don't use one of those because I could see that putting a dent in the lip of it. Tammy says, I had mine on a shelf in the pantry after I rendered it. Yeah, you can't. Something about fats and oils at room temperature from an animal, if there's any type of moisture in it, and just my own experience, it doesn't go well, especially when I had it on the stove. You know how maybe your grandma had like the jar of bacon grease on the stove? I put my bacon grease in the fridge because the stove gets hot and then cold and hot and then cold. And just know. Tuck by V1, good to see you. Hi, can't stay exhausted. Love y'all. Have a great night. Get your rest. Tuck by V1. Radio Jonesy says, add a training course for me today. I'll have to check the replay. Yes, you will, Radio Jonesy, because we had a different type of show, and I hope your training isn't super boring. Carol says, mine just has his own version of what goes where, so I gave up. Robin Garden, sometimes I will load just to have it cleaned up. Bowtie Life in the Garden, well, hey, Shawneegrows, great to see you. You're on your journey, too, for watch hours. This is a impromptu, we were in the kitchen show. I don't know how long this will go, probably an hour, if we can even make it that long, because it's only been 22 minutes. I don't know what to say. I told a story about how it's the first week of back to school, so you can catch that on the replay. Tammy says, I guess I should have put it in my refrigerator or back to the deep freeze. Yes, absolutely. So do it again and keep it cold. And then you can use it up. I use a spoon or a knife, dig it out, put it in the pan. You know what I mean? Bowtie says, I vacuum seal all the time with used lids just fine. Yeah, they have a purpose. Oh, I could look this up. Radio Jonesy says 812 subs, 3,568 watch hours for Sir Radio Jonesy, my competitor in the race to 4,000. Shawneegrows channel is currently at 817 subscribers. And I'm still winning. 3,589 watch hours. So, calculator, because math is not my friend. Oops, I typed that in wrong. Oh boy. Pause. 3, 5, 6, 8. 21. I'm 21 hours ahead of you still, Jonesy. But I haven't gone live Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday for 4 days. So you'll probably hop ahead of me. And all that matters is that we both get to the race finish line, obviously, but it's fun. It's fun to have someone to boost your confidence and momentum of jumping in here and putting something out there for the audience to absorb. Jay Dixon has great advice. Even if you can't stay, you can leave this live running in the background while you fall asleep, or definitely come on back and catch the replay and tell me in the comments below that you are here for Team Replay. 8 of you that are here, make sure you hit the thumbs up for Shawneegrows. Carol says, yes, hearing they are toxic now. And I'm like, no, never going to give it up. My dishwasher. Yeah, I just don't like them. Not a fan. Bowtie built the fence today. Used a sledge today. Bowtie, I had cement dust in my house so bad with all the doors and windows open that all the smoke alarms were going off. That was really fun. And I haven't mopped the floors or wiped anything down because is it just going to happen all over again tomorrow? Are they done cutting cement? I don't know. Jay Dixon says fats go rancid at room temperature easily. Fact. Carol says, you are always building fences, man, Bowtie. That's some tough work in our heat. Bowtie says, I'm at 3,526. Have you passed me yet? I think I answered that because there's a big no in the chat. It's all good. Oh, Bowtie, you're both slaughtering me. Well, I have a plan. Tammy Harder says, sounds good. Thanks, Shawnee. I'll do that with my next batch. I was bummed because when it went bad, I wanted to whip some up into a tallow balm to try again. We'll try again. Yeah, I really hope to get into making skin stuff this winter, and maybe I'll make it with you guys or members only. I wanted to create some content for members only today, but all you would have heard was me swearing and smoke alarms and dust, and we wouldn't have been able to make anything because everything would have been covered. Carol says, unless it's extra virgin coconut oil, that seems to hang on pretty well compared to others. Jay, I think it has antibacterial properties though, and that's why. Yeah, I think animal fats cannot sit out at room temperature. Coconut oil is not an animal fat. And I would have to Google. Well, I guess we have time. And I worked for an hour and a half tonight and was like, well, I need the hours. We should go live and hang out. So I am trying to prepare a how to plan or plant, what plants to plant in a medicinal garden. And I was like really working on it, and it kind of went a direction I don't want it to go. And so I need to wrangle it back into the lane of what are the plants and how do we use the plants? Because it got a little like whoosh, over here. Well, I'm trying to look up why that coconut oil sits out just fine. But there's a bunch of words and I'm not catching anything that I can give a quick answer. So I'm just going to skip that. Robin's like, Bowtie, you need to do a live or two. It's the secret. Jonesy started doing it. Jay says to Robin and Bowtie, garden fence building live, pounding action. Bowtie says, yesterday I removed tile in our entryway. Oh, I knew this was going into cement dust conversation. Tile, yes. It's so bad. Because coming up out of the vents out of the basement, even though the air's not on. And I have cabinets in the hall where it was bad. It was circling like a tornado because of the way the house is designed. And everything in the cabinet is covered in it. And it's all my preserved foods and just, ugh. Carol says, I can make balms, but you know me, Shawnee, that whole cow fat on my body. Oh, the weird feelings I have about that. Afraid I will smell like a cheeseburger. Well, you just stick to your beeswax and your cocoa butter and your coconut oil then, Carol. No pressure. Bowtie says, I've been building the same fence for 14 months. Once done, I have 2 regular fence jobs lined up. Okay, olive oil and nut oils go rancid too easily at room temperature, hence dark bottles. Jay says, I am too tired to do canning, so I'm freezing tomatoes. Yeah, there's so many other ways to do things. Like, obviously, canning is great. You know, the whole shelf-stable thing. Fresh eating is best. And then there's drying. There's freezing. There's fermenting. Now there's even freeze drying. And then there's canning now. Like, that's... Tammy goes, oh, so a typical Minnesota weekday. Got it. Just kidding. Oh, and so Monday, first day of school. Right? That was Monday? No, Monday was a holiday. Monday was we did a field trip. We went to this place where it's 100 years old, and it was a guy that came over from, I bet you I could read it. I have pictures somewhere. I don't know if it's members only or public. Those are all the rules. Oh, I didn't take a picture of the story. Rats. Denmark, I think. He was Danish. And always saw things built out of rocks over in those gardens when he was a kid. And he came to Minnesota. And him and his wife started putting things together out of rock. And it took 12 years or so. And there's all kinds of stuff. There's fancy words. I'll have to take better notes and report back. It's like a table and a seating area. And there's bridges and arches and tunnels and a castle and a gnome house. And like all these different layers of walkways. You walk up and you walk down. That's all built by hand. and it had to be restored because it was falling apart, like it was closed for many years, and then money came into somewhere and people got it fixed. And then now volunteers are doing the plantings. Like I know I saw comfrey in there and a bunch of other things. I'm not going to list it all. But they have volunteers take care of different flower spaces. It's a lot of shade spots. And it's only open from, this month to this month, this hour to this hour. And it's free will donation, so you don't have to pay. And here's so I told my kids, we are going to go on a field trip, but we can't spend a lot of money because it's not in our budget. So, they're guessing, like, obviously we're not going bowling, right? And then we get there and I pull out my wallet and I give them each $1 because then a volunteer gardener, maybe it'll help them buy equipment or seed or flour or something. I don't know how they divvy out the money, but I had them each $1, and then my oldest is smart with me and goes, I thought it didn't cost any money. And I said, well, there's this donation box, and I just feel really good about putting a donation in to take care of this space. Isn't this space nice? And we hadn't even gone through it yet. And he literally says, well, I'm glad it wasn't my money to pay for this. So we go through and I'm taking pictures with them, and there's a sundial, and we're talking about how the sundial works because you know how I am with things. I mean, can you just imagine taking me somewhere? This is what you get. And then there's little signs, and I'm reading the signs, and it's about, there's a gnome and I think an ogre and just all these wonderful places and things. And they weren't too impressed by it, but I liked it because I had gone there a long, long time ago and hadn't been there for a while. Like I said, it was closed. So that was Monday. And then Carol says, Jay, freezing is fine when the canner just can't do the canning. Save it for winter. Well, and the other thing is I can just put stuff outside in the freezing weather when it's that cold out if for some reason my freezer isn't working. That's the big concern is, well, when the power goes out, then the freezer goes out. Well, technically I'm okay for a while, right? Robin Garden says coconut oil can sit outside the refrigerator because it has a high saturated fat content, which makes it stable at room temperature and resistant to spoilage. Bochai says, I planted potatoes and strawberries for a Labor Day celebration. We did not plant anything. But I did buy my daughter new boots because she didn't have any shoes that fit her all of a sudden, like every single pair, and she's the shoe queen. Don't fit her, so we're going to slowly replace one at a time. And then we walked through a flower garden, which also the kids were not excited about. And then my husband was gone for disc golf for 7.5 hours. Asked me how I feel about that. And then Tuesday was the first day of school. So I had to get into okay, we're going to do circle time. And for activity, I took and sat up late the night before and made a batch of white Play-Doh, and then a batch of orange, a batch of teal, and a batch of purple. And what I did was I made a pancake of the white and then a ball of the colored you put inside, and then you carefully close it and you wrap it up and you put it in. I don't have my bag here. This is my teacher's binder thing is sitting over here. You put it in there, and it talks about our first day of school having superstar students for the year. If you mix up your ball and it turns color, it means you're going to be a superstar student. It helps keep them engaged at the mat and gives them their hands something to do while I'm going through the things that I talked about earlier that we do during circle time. So everybody loved that. That was great. That was a win. And then I had to deliver groceries to a family member. And then I had to do a harvest, which I believe I showed on the channel. I think it's came out by now. And then we came home and it's like, make lunch, do chores. And then we had to go through science, which was reintroducing all the tools. And I'm sorry if this is boring for people, but this is what my life was. And this is what I know how to talk about right now. So we went over a ruler, a measuring cup, a pipette, a petri dish, a funnel, a test tube. We practiced measuring and moving water. And it was to reiterate the rules of when we're in the lab. We don't put things in our mouth. We always wash our hands afterwards. We take turns. We get in a line. Don't be crazy. We're in the lab. So then it was time to make supper. And it's like, I also have to make snacks and desserts. Because the way the budget's going for the end of the year now, there is no buying extra stuff. It's you make it or you don't have it. And so I'll probably be sharing a lot more of what I'm cooking just in picture form because I hate filming cooking videos. Jay also put out a message about coconut oil as a saturated fat, and this high saturated fat content makes it a solid at typical room temperatures, unlike unsaturated fats, which remain liquid. Carol said, oh, Robin Garden's exactly why they told me no coconut oil if my cholesterol is high. Carol says, interesting though, because tallow and butter are saturated fats too and go rancid. Robin Garden says coconut oil is about 90% saturated fat. Saturated fats are less reactive with oxygen, which means they don't go rancid easily. Long shelf life, often 1 to 2 years when stored properly. Yeah, there should be something that comes out. Finland? Denmark, I think, is where he came from. The person that built the rock garden. I can't believe I didn't take a picture of the of the information. I took a picture of the rules. Oy. Okay, yes. Yeah, that the picture is just like what you see facing that way. When you turn around, like what was behind me in the picture, there's a whole nother stuff thing. But, you know. Carol goes, wow, starting off on positive affirmation of your giving spirit, not. Tammy says, awesome, thanks for sharing, Robin. I love coconut oil. I've been using it on my skin, oil pulling my dogs. It has so many great uses. I had to use it on my dog's fur. He was having dry skin, itchy skin, but we also changed his food and am giving him liquid pump fish oil. And that's made a big difference. He's not so itchy anymore. But I don't use it on my skin anymore. Carol says coconut oil can block pores. Don't use it on your face. My daughter is an esthetician. Oh, Bowtie fell asleep. This recliner puts me to sleep. Hope I can sleep past 4 a.m. Well, you go to your bed to sleep past 4, not the recliner. Robin says to Tammy, yes, use it in myself. Tammy says, too bad WR don't have Payless shoes anymore. My youngest daughter loved her shoes, but they can be spendy. Okay, here's the story about shoes. Oh, by the way, Mad Farm, hey, if you're still here, I'm a couple minutes behind. I like, for my kids, Keen, Merrill. There might have been a third one we've tried. They're great. I mean, they feel like real shoes to me, not plastic garbage. And the mom and pop shoe store in town would carry them so we could actually look at them and try them on. Because yes, I know how the internet works. I can go to keen.com and I can order shoes and have them shipped to the house just fine. Now all of a sudden they don't want to carry kids stuff anymore. Only adult shoes. And so, you know, the only stores that are left sell the garbage crap that I don't like. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to spend $20 on a pair of shoes that falls apart in a month just based on how hard my kids are in shoes and isn't comfortable, and I'm just not. Okay. I'm going to measure their feet according to the website and just have shoes shipped here because I also don't like travel. So you could say to me, oh, just drive an hour to go to a shoe outlet that sells that brand of shoe. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm not hunting it down. I'm not getting in the van. I'm not sitting through that. I'm not driving through that. I'm not taking them through this. I'm not doing that. So it's just tricky because there's 3 of them. And it's sandals would be on discount, I'm sure. So we could get those. Tennis shoes. And then rain boots and snow boots are like the minimum for shoes that we require for all 3 kids. I was going to show you her boots. So they were on sale. This is for my youngest. This is what she picked out. You see the sparkles in them? It's adorable. She's a big boot gal. She likes boots a lot. We're also working on, I think her training wheels are coming off this weekend for her bike. She's really excited for that, though. Our kids, oh, yes. And it was in a different town. And he had to pick up 3 other people and take them with him, apparently, which also wasn't part of the information given to me when asked, can I go play disc golf, wife? He's going to watch the replay, and I'm keeping it to that. That's all I'm saying. Jay Dixon says, I planted cool, cold seeds. Example, 5 types of lettuce, endive, escarole, kale, Swiss chard, carrots, peas, beans, bok choy, wong bok, and more. I have all my fall stuff planted. I need to water it, like I said, probably. And check on things. She blinded me with science. You know, it's a magic school bus science kit. They sell these little buses of things, and it's Miss Frizzle on the cards. At each card, you go through something. Oh, I forgot to make ice. I need to make ice, everyone, later. Ugh, one more job. Okay, Bowtie actually went to bed, hopefully. Yes, hi, Mad Farm. Janet Potter says, good evening, everyone. Catch the replay for the kitchen portion of the show and me talking about things. Brooke Trout 1, tearing down gardens, getting ready to replant, still getting rats. 90 for the year, so pretty good. Oh my goodness. Ew. Carol says, oh, the dang rats are awful. You should check out an old short I have. A predator came into my patio to get them. Not a snake. Mad Farm, the queen of fruits. Have you had them before? I just uploaded some fruit I got this week. Guanabana, avocados, limes, adamoya. I have pears that came in. And so I did make a pear crisp. I think I put a picture of it on the channel. And then I have a whole drawer full of pears still. And I'm supposed to go pick up a box of peaches tomorrow because I'm down to my last 5. These are from Colorado, if I remember right. That's for our fruit going on here in Minnesota. Thank you, Tammy. She loves them. Oh, Carol says those boots were adorable. Jay says cute boots. Yeah, she was sitting out front and the sun was from the west and it was hitting her boots and she goes, look at the sparkles in the sun. Robin Garden says to Jay Dixon, appreciate that shout out this week. Robin's video is a tomato taste testing 10 varieties. Check out her channel. She's the tomato queen. Mangosteen. Mad Farm and Carol are having conversations about stuff for Florida, I imagine. Jay Dixon says Wongbok is Chinese Napa cabbage. Do you ever grow tatsoi, Jay? Tatsoi. Tammy says, I hear you driving all over can be the pits. We did get one of those shoe sensation stores in my town that I really like. You like it there? I went there and I was not impressed. Nope. I did buy a pair of shoes for my kid there one year because they were tractor themed and I didn't, sorry. I don't want to go there. You can't make me. Jay Dixon says, mangosteen trees grow in tropical climates and originated in island Southeast Asia, particularly the Malay archipelago and Indonesia. They are now cultivated in other tropical regions. Carol says, I know we can grow lemon drop mangosteen, but I never see anyone growing mangosteen. Tammy says, pear butter is good. That is what Diva in the Dirt is whipping up tonight. Pear butter. Tammy says, I have been looking for some local plums, but no luck yet. One of my homeschooling mom friends had a whole table of plums, but I didn't ask, where did you get those plums? And she was making plum butter, and it was very messy. Mad Farm is talking about Garcinia mangostana parishes quickly below 50 Fahrenheit. Sharon is here with her magnificent jewelry, heading into the holidays to sell. Cheramoya says Carol was at WFM2 today at Mad Farm, but like $12.99 per pound. Jay says no tatsoi, limited my local available seeds. Okay. I still haven't gone to the local garden center that's closing to get 25% off seeds because I just have other budgety things going on that I need to do. I can't go there. Brooke Trout 1 says, peaches. I have peach cobbler for my birthday instead of cake. I'm a big fan of having whatever dessert speaks to your heart for your birthday. Like, I'm almost anti-cake for birthdays. Have anything you want. It doesn't have to be cake. Like, mine is caramel bars. One of my kids usually chooses French silk pie. One likes, my husband likes cheesecake. So I guess that's cake. I'm trying to think of what the other two. We'll find out. I feel like the one always asks for a carrot cake, if I remember right. And the other one, a donut. Usually he gets a donut, if I remember right. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, Sharon is up to 305 pairs of earrings now. That's so cool. I don't have the patience or time for hands to do earring making. And I wear earrings that don't come out. They're a full circle. I mean, they will come out in emergencies, but they're full circle and they just stay. There's 3 in each ear. I used to have more, but I took them out. It's too much maintenance for me. Oh, Brooke Trout is going on the hunt. Nice. Mother Earth Garden Club, welcome in. Hi. We've just got probably 10 more minutes of this random live stream where in the beginning I was in the kitchen straining my tallow fat into jars and then just kind of catching up with why I haven't had a super educational fun live stream this week because it's a week of stuff. And I've talked about that as we've gone through the conversation. And you never know. Maybe tomorrow I'll have it all figured out and I'll go live and I'll have real things organized to talk about. It might just be another what job am I working on live stream. We'll see. But the weekend is almost here, it feels like already. The Wickershire Project off-grid. Hey. All tropical fruit out of our temperature reach. Pawpaw doesn't count. That's an anomaly. Anomaly? Is that how you say that? Tammy Harder says, my kitchen has dishes done, but we put up pickled beets yesterday, so I need to do a deeper kitchen clean. Nice. Oh, Jay Dixon says the economy is affecting small local businesses and we are having one close every month or so. What? Ouch. And we had a point where our whole downtown was just a ghost town. And now things have been remodeled and put in and businesses are there again. But there was a couple of years where it was just falling apart. And now the thing that falls apart is a mall. The mall falls apart kind of in a lot of places now here. Robin Garden says to Carol, hey, I took your advice and went to Walmart and got a gallon of Alaska fertilizer for $15. Carol says, Pawpaw counts, Billy. It's the only native North American tropical fruit. It counts as a tropical fruit. Carol says, yay, Robin, I'm so happy for you. Mother Earth Garden Club did can 7 pints of spaghetti sauce today. Look at you go. I did roast some tomatoes to make sauce, and it's just in the fridge in a container. So if that's not going to get used tomorrow, I'll have to freeze it. or make more and add to it and then freeze it. Wickeshire says cheesecake is king. Only cake that shall be and shall always reign. Mad Farm says to Carol, I think we've met. Yeah, that's great. If it speaks to you, Sharon, and you enjoy it, you make your earrings. That's right. Kara goes, have we? That would be wild. Okay, Wickeshire. Tallow fat has the ability for being a candle? Burnable fat? Yeah, that's what I hear. I've never tried it. You would just put a wick in it, I suppose. What have you heard? Without me looking it up. Carol and Mad Farm are talking back and forth. Jay Dixon is reminding everyone to support Shawneegrows, like this wonderful pop-up live stream, share with another gardener friend, comment on replays, because that tells YouTube that this is worth watching. And check out our past shows. There's a playlist we started about creating your self-resilient garden that we're going to keep adding to. And if you would like to become a member, I have to put all of my regular things in the description. I didn't do that yet. There's buttons around somewhere for that. Oh, okay. So Mad Farm has a question for Shawnee. What hardiness zone are you? So the USDA used to say I am 4B, but now I'm 5A. But for perennials, I still say 4. I get, if it's okay for 4, I like that. Perennials that say 5, I get nervous about. Mother Earth Garden Club, my 28-year-old grandson has a cold. You would think he's on death's door. The way he complains. Oh no, he's having some hard symptoms. Oh boy. Robin is answering Wickershire's question about loads of vegetables, but the temps are falling 3 nights into the 40s. That's what I was going to do. I was going to check. So I have to determine a cover strategy. So remember, Robin, we were talking about the peppers, and I had 45, 47 degrees. I did not cover them, and everybody was fine. I didn't do anything. Right now it's 49 as we speak. Let me see what the daily. It's going to be 41 tonight, 46 tomorrow night, 43 Friday night, 39 Saturday night. Freezing is 32 degrees Fahrenheit for anyone that's questioning why I'm talking about this. So I'm fine with cool temps, and I'm fine with plants that are warm, plants that are sensitive to frost. I'm okay with them just going away. Of course, I do want to pick things like any tomatoes or peppers. I'll just pick them and bring them in, and they will ripen as they shall. I'll clear a space for them. But yeah, what is it? Yeah, we're in September now, so this is normal. That's a thing that happens. No, Carol. 4B, 5A, not 6B. Lancashire? Okay. Oh, the homesteading RD did it? Do-it-yourself tallow candles, easy, 2 ingredients. I love her so much. She's in Minnesota. She did a podcast with whoever runs the Seed Time podcast. I can't think of his name. Great conversation. Good night, Sharon. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate your support. Carol totally got that wrong. That's right. I don't know. What are you wanting to protect, Robin? what's your decision over protecting it? Because it's just one little dip we're going to have, and then it's going to be warm after that, I'm guessing, where you are. We got 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Robin says tonight is 46, but only for 2 hours. Yeah, that comes into play. Yeah, air temperature and soil temperature, it's a good thing to kind of keep an eye on just to help you with your gardens. Hold on, I have to. Having some Christmas lights under the blankets. Because, yeah, all the stuff I planted for fall can handle those temperatures just fine. I just should water them. Wickershire says the wife is planting spinach and Swiss chard tomorrow. She said I can film her again. Oh, yeah, because you guys did an herb video. Tammy says, yeah, I was just outside and it was chilly for sure. Yeah, I had windows open. I had to close them before I started the show because I was like, whoa, what is that coming in? But we also don't turn the heat on, till I don't know when. Sometime in October, I think, is when we turn the furnace on for heat. And now I don't want to turn anything on for the furnace because I think the cement dust is in everything. We have to get a new filter. All the filters are down there, and I'm sure they're full of cement dust. So it's kind of a whole thing. I just want this job to be over, okay? And we're only halfway through it. And then I'm supposed to be looking for a house to buy, and I'm supposed to be moving. Mother Earth Garden Club. I started the fermented hot pepper sauce that was in Plant to Plate book by Gaz Oakley. Yes. I'm waiting for my Sugar Rush peach peppers to turn the peach color, and then I want all of them to make a sauce with. Carol has 78 over there. Well, you're talking about covering them. They've done their job. Like, why milk something along that isn't supposed to be there? I'm not trying to defy nature or anything. I will pull off what I can, and then nature will compost the rest of it, and we can start getting things cleaned up a little bit, right? Robin says to Carol, I've used the lights before, but I have to figure out what I really want to save. Right. That's kind of what I'm like asking. Maybe we'll hear about it at a future show this weekend. We can talk more about it since I think you were on your way to bed. And I'm almost out of here. 2 more minutes. Often we get an Indian summer effect. This was our first, this was our second dip in temps. We've had one. This is our second. And it's getting like a little cooler each time. Mother Earth Garden Club says those fermented peppers are starting to bubble. That's exciting. Appreciate your support, Sharon, if you are staying for the last couple minutes. Every minute counts. The low for brook trout is 76 a week. Oh my goodness. Oh no. A fly is in the coffee, says Wickershire. 16 hours of heavy rain, you lucky duck, Jay. What? Oh. I'm going through here, the chat. Tammy goes, yeah, no heat. More clothes, warm blankets first. Right, I know. Drink a warm beverage, eat a warm meal, get a blankie. We don't need it on yet. We don't need to pay for that yet. Good night, Mad Farm. Dave went to bed, Wickershire. I'm sorry. You missed him. Thanks, Sharon. Carol says, whoa. I always crave a yummy, creamy, and sweet coffee, which I don't do anymore at the worst times, like 11 p.m. Well, I'm sure you could find a substitute to that. We are on our way out. Ant's Place. Good morning, all you lovely people. You'll have to check out the replay. And we were in the kitchen, and we did things with fat. And I talked about my week and why the show is just a nonchalant hangout to get some watch hours because we're in a competition with Radio Jonesy. So please play all the things you haven't watched yet on a device. Dave's not here, says Brook Trout. That's right. He went to sleep. Tell him he's weak. Well, he'll watch the replay and he'll see and read all of that. That's for sure. Robin says to Carol, the Toms inside, except one, did just fine while we were in Wisconsin, but I have work ahead of me. But first, sleep. Yeah, I wondered if anything went a little crazy. But Loop 29, hey, what's up? We are on our way out to say goodbye. Thank you for stopping by. Catch the replay. Barry would like to learn to can food, but first he needs to have a garden to can it. Well, you don't have to have a garden to can food, but that's a whole nother conversation that I don't have to get into right this minute. Take care, everyone, says Tammy. Ann's Place says, I just got up and rolling around since 5 a.m. and it's 6 a.m. now. Well, you have a fantastic day, Ann. I hope weather is being nicer to you over there. And the neighbor chicken story, we have to catch up on that. Maybe I'll run into you this weekend somewhere else because I have to go. Yes, okay. I think I read everybody's thing. So remember to grow every day in every way. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way out.